Now the door's locked already. We've achieved our first layer of lockdown, but now we can use something as simple as a magnet, $3 or $4 magnet, if we don't want to have our door locked from the outside. You'll see here in this video where that magnet's being placed there. The door's locked, but it's not allowed to latch because that magnet's in the way. If we wanted to go into lockdown quickly, all we got to do is remove the lock or that magnet, and the door latches quickly. And remember, we're going to lock it, we're going to layer it, we're going to reinforce. So these are just examples of how we can reinforce our lockdowns, just several different techniques. We're going to go ahead and show the video shows the door being closed and locked. Then something as simple as a chair leg through the door handle, and we're bracing that chair against the door frame. Now, as you notice here, we're bracing it against the door frame. We have to hold it, because if we release that the leg on the chair, that handle is going to go down. It's actually going to defeat your lockdown for the bad guy. So we've got to brace it and hold it there as well to prevent that handle from pulling down. This right here illustrates how we can reinforce a lockdown on a door with a closer on it. It doesn't have a handle on it. It has the panic bar that you can see on this door. And you see, if you slide it through the center, we're going to show you a close-up of the technique here real quickly. But you just slide it through the center, wrap it around the end. It's really important you go around the back of the closer a couple times. If you don't go around the back of the closer, then the rope's just going to slide forward when they try to open it. But you can see that's pretty stout. But don't just depend on this working by itself, because that closer, even though it's tied off, it's only as solid as it is attached to the door. And you'll see if that closer is only attached with wood screws, that could rip out. So we've got to be ready to fight if any of our lockdown reinforcements fail. So this right here is an illustration of not only using the rope on the closer, but now we're going to anchor it where we don't have to stand there and hold the rope. We'll anchor it to the cabinet door right there. You'll tie it off. Again, this is another technique of reinforcing our lockdown. Not only are we going to use the table here to barricade, but we're going to use our rope to wrap around the door handle, and we're going to wrap that around the table. Now you'll notice that table is wider than the door frame. Hook it around the handle. We're going to tie it around the handle. Now, the nice thing about that table being wider than the door frame, once we tie it off, now to get that door open, they've got to pull that table through the door frame that's wider. It's going to be very, very difficult to do, if not impossible. And again, this is an example of anchoring it once we have tied it off so we can get away from it. And this right here will show an example of all three. We teach teachers never be satisfied with your lockdown. If you find yourself admiring your lockdown and saying, I did a pretty good job on that, well, you're wrong. You need to keep working to reinforce your lockdown.